guys, so this is Gomer. He is an Arabian gelding who the vet thinks is about 9 years old. He was recently adopted by one of my friends from an Arabian rescue, and the Arabian rescue picked him up from a kill pen. So we assume he was taken to that kill pen because of this injury on his front left leg. You can see how he holds it out in front in all of these pictures. For the most part, he's in pretty good shape. He's not too skinny. He seems to have been reasonably well taken care of, but he does have this pretty significant injury of that front left leg. And here I'll show you a video of him walking so you can see how he manages with that injury. You'll watch how he can't really extend that knee all the way or his fetlock, and he kind of flings it forward as he goes. So that's pretty typical of what you will see in a horse that has a radial nerve injury. So let's talk a little bit about where the radial nerve is, what it does, how it gets injured, before we go in more into Gomer's story. In this next picture, I have the radial nerve highlighted there in green and then outlined in red, so you can see how it comes down from the brachial plexus to the front of the front leg. In short, the radial nerve innervates our triceps, our carpal extensors, and our digital extensors. So that's our elbow extensors is the triceps plus a couple of other muscles. Carpal is our knee joint, and then our digital extensors, that encompasses the fetlock, the pasture, and the coffin joints. So we'll teach him how to compensate. We'll do some hoof care to keep him as balanced as possible and allow him to stand more square. And we'll strengthen all of those muscles that do still have healthy innervation to help him get around a little bit better. So speaking of hoof care, I'll show you first what his hooves looked like before the farrier was out. I suggested that they get hoof care for this horse before we started any real physical therapy treatment, just because of how bad his hooves were, for lack of a better word. This is his right front foot. You can see how long and how much excessive growth there is. This is a skyline kind of view of that right front, and you can see that big extra flare on that inside wall. The grass is kind of in the way on the outside wall, but he's having to rock over that extra flare every time he walks, and it's just making things a lot harder for him. Here's another view of that right front hoof. So you can just imagine with that hoof being so long and kind of underrun, how much extra strain he's having on things up the leg, trying to walk over that hoof. And then on the flip side, we have the left one. This is the one with the nerve injury. And because he is unable to get the knee and the fetlock extended, he's developed this kind of club foot shape on his left front. So it's very upright and short compared to the other side. So this is something that you might hear referred to as high-low syndrome, where you have a really high clubby foot on one side and a low underrun foot on the other side. And this is a great example of that, a very extreme example of that. Then this last picture is from the front, and it shows you just his preferred stance at that time. So he always had his right hind behind, which again is leading to that underrun shape, and he always has his left front significantly out in front, which again leads to that upright kind of clubby shape. So form follows function. How he stands is going to impact how he walks. And then here is that video of before walking, just to remind you what he looked like. This is before we had any hoof care done. And then this is after. I apologize for the video being blurry, but you can see how much better this is after just one trim. I wish I could say this is after his PT treatment, but this is after his first hoof trim only. The people taking care of him have been doing a little bit of stretching with him in the meantime, but we haven't started any real serious PT stuff yet. This is just with the trim. So this is really encouraging for me, and I think that shows that we'll be able to get a lot more accomplished than maybe we thought originally, just seeing how he walked before we had his hooves done. So we get started with his physical therapy treatments this weekend, and I'm really excited to see how he does after that. I'll make sure to give you guys updates as we go. I'm going to post here a picture with the GoFundMe link that they're using to fundraise for Gomer's care and rehab process. It's an expensive process, and they can use any help that you guys are able to offer. I know they would be very appreciative. So thank you so much for watching, and keep an eye out for more updates from Gomer.